My background has been information services. I've been spent my whole career in information services for 30 years at this point. 20 years spent at a big, now publicly traded commercial real estate information company that is, closing in on global in its coverage. After 20 years there, I went to an information service business that was received an investment from a private equity company. That private equity company asked me to come and be the CEO as the founder was rolling out as part of that transaction. And then since then, I've been doing a bunch of different information service kind of board work. I've started another business, information business, etc. And so that's kind of my background, but always very narrowly focused on the information service world. Working with a partner, the things that were compelling to me, the investor that made the investment into the business, sales and marketing information business, was that I really wanted to have a partner that would be my partner. I mean, that was the essence of it, was I wanted to enjoy working with them. They could fill the gaps on where my gaps were. So we kind of yin and yang and had like a very complementary relationship. Somebody that was responsive and that was available to be a resource for me. The 20 years at the commercial real estate information company it grew really, really fast, and we were always climbing up the hill. There was never a chance to look back and reflect back on what we had learned. And then as I went to this next endeavor, it was like, okay, now I can look back on everything I learned over the past 20 years to put into practice on this business, and then leverage the sponsor, the partner, as my partner in crime to actually get stuff done, and really be able to work in harmony with them. And I needed to like them. I needed to respect them. And, in that case, all those things were very true. They were great partners. Because I was also the first time CEO. I mean, I was an executive officer of the other business. I ran big groups of people and all that kind of stuff. But it was the first time that I was, all on my shoulders as the CEO. And so just having that person that I trusted was really valuable. I was the outsider. I was the guy who came from another business and, wasn't homegrown like the rest of my fellow workers. So I wasn't the enemy by any means, but I was just like, wait, you're thinking it should be done this way? Well, we don't think so. And I was like, I think so. But then I had my partners and my sponsor, the private equity guys. I'm like, hey guys, I'm thinking this way. I'm getting the vibe that this is not what these guys are thinking. The 20-year company was, $2 million to $600 million. And so I went through all that. And during all that time, I was, we were building the team the whole entire time. So when I started, there was maybe 30 employees, and then there was probably 3,000 or so when I left. So you accumulate and refine your team ongoing through that whole process. Then when I went to this other company, it was, maybe 100 people, and it was a little bit more bootstrapped, very successful business, bootstrapped, but having to build out the organization. And by the time I left the other business, we had really good people all around us. We had highly capable people. And it's not to say that the people at the next business weren't capable, but, the people that I left, my teammates at the other place were able to run a multi-$100 million publicly traded business, right? And then you go back into a smaller growing up business and you realize there's excellent people there, but boy, if we had some more people with more experience, that would make things go faster. And most of my network was still highly embedded in my old job. So I swore I was not going to go pull from my previous employer or anything like that. It was just like a thing of allegiance for me. And so having a network of people that could help me build out my team was really, really important at the next gig and build it out faster. Once you get on the phone, then it's it's the airport test, could I hang out if I have a flight delay? It's a 3-hour delay. Would I be okay hanging out with this person at the airport, or would it just be hell? And if they pass the airport test, then that's the first thing before you even get to, because if you have a successful business, keep running a successful business. And then if you want to go do something with that successful business, make sure you do it with somebody you like. For good businesses, there's probably plenty of capital. It's who's guy or person that you jive with the best. Trying to fake it to the point of it. I would much prefer someone says, I don't know, than make up some kind of thing. Because if you're if you're really thinking about, I don't know if I have a ton of firsthand experience, this is just more my own personal philosophy, but like, I'm totally okay with if someone says, I don't know, great, big whoop, congratulations. Like, we can go find out whatever we don't know. But if you tell me, like, if you're like, just like making stuff up, okay, if you're making stuff up on this, like, what's going to happen in the future? And so it just doesn't seem like a good, viable partnership, like I'd much rather just full transparency, honesty and transparency. Those are probably the two things. It's cliche, certainly, but there's a lot of people that tell you exactly what you want to hear and make it sound all perfect and peaches and cream, which it may or may not be. Like I always tell sales teams, like, if you don't know, say I don't know. And you know what happens? If you can come back, if you say I don't know, but I can find out the answer for you, like, that's better rapport building than sometimes knowing it off the top of your head. If you like go take what could be slightly embarrassing that you don't know what maybe should be basic, maybe it's not, I don't know. But like, it's not bad. It's not bad to not know, I don't think, and say I need to figure it out. The founder that I took over for put it up for sale, hired a banker, put it up for sale. He had a goal of a revenue goal. He had a goal of an exit price goal, and he felt like he was there. And that's it was very plain and simple. This was his third exit. And it was just like, that's just what and he was going on to his fourth, like that was just what he did. And very successful. Like he had been like from a financial perspective, he was kind of all set after the first deal, and then he had a couple more. So it wasn't just the 5s and 10s that was motivating him. It was, he kind of ran its course with him. The next guy selling that business would be, I think there was just two businesses that were competing head to head that were really competing head to head to the detriment of the bigger opportunity. And it was very apparent that if you marry the two businesses and put them together, everything gets better. The financial metrics, the data gets better, the software gets better, because like it's a better outcome when these two companies were very, very similar, doing very similar things. And so by marrying them together, there was certainly an elimination of a lot of redundant costs. Like you only need one HR department, like that type of thing. So that's super obvious. And then the TAM was huge. So more good salespeople was good. And then the data set, when we would both get into the boxing ring, every day was like, we get into the ring and it'd be like, okay, $1 less than what the other guy just said, all the way down. It's just like, at some point, it's not good for the business. It's not good for the industry, frankly, because it's just like leaving a lot of opportunity out there. Everyone's got what's your why, that whole thing. Like my why would be different than yours or a 25-year-old person's or a 70-year-old person. Is super subjective to that founder, or to that potential seller. How many billion-dollar plus funds are there out there? Or how many $500 million plus funds are out there? Like how many people could write a meaningful check? How many firms could write a meaningful check? Gazillion, not gazillion, but plenty. So what is your connection with that person, and or that group and that whole organization? And I feel like those are the pieces of the puzzle that are going to be very subjective. And expertise is one, or like likability, the EQ component is high, the IQ component is high, the resources that person can bring, if those are the resources you think you need, creative with new directions to take your business that you think, or if they've got other companies in their, portfolio that could be married together, or who knows what.